Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual World Cup. We are just getting ready to begin our final matchup in Group C between Singapore and Canada. So happy to have you with us for this broadcast. Today is Sunday, July 26th, 2020. It is 1 in the morning Greenwich Mean Time. That means it is 9 a.m. Sunday in Singapore. It is 9 p.m. Saturday in Toronto. It is 6 p.m. Saturday in Vancouver. And it is 6 p.m. Saturday on the east coast of the U.S., where I'm coming at you. My name is Evans Clinchy, and I'm excited. This is going to be a great matchup. These are the top two teams in Group C, Singapore and Canada. Both teams will be advancing to the playoffs. The only question is who's the top seed and who's second. It's really exciting because we have two of the top teams overall in the whole event. And one of them is going to be in first place in Group C, so it's going to be great. Taking a quick look at the scoreboard so far in Week 3. The Philippines with a dramatic win over New Zealand on Friday night, 13-12 to improve to 2-1. Pakistan won 16-9 over South Africa. They finished undefeated, 3-0 in Group B. Ghana in Group C eliminates Kenya with a 14-11 win, and then Ireland beating the U.S. earlier today, 13-12. That means Ireland will advance to the knockout rounds. So, taking a quick look at the pool play standings coming up here in just a little bit. We got Singapore and Canada. And just a rundown of kind of where everybody stands going into that match. In Group A, everybody's all tied up 1-1. India's going to play Thailand, Malaysia's going to play the UK, and the winners will advance to the knockout rounds. In Group B, Pakistan is undefeated at 3-0. They will go on. South Africa's 0-3. They will not. And then 1-1, all tied up, are Nigeria and Australia. Those two go head-to-head tomorrow, and the winner will advance. Skipping over to Group D, the U.S., Ireland, and Philippines finished all tied at 2-1 with New Zealand at 0-3. That means that USA and Ireland will advance on spread. And Group C, Kenya's 1-2, Ghana's 1-2. Those two teams will be eliminated, and the top two teams, Canada and Singapore, will go on. The question now is which of these two teams will win and be the number one seed in Group C. So, starting lineups for this matchup between Singapore and Canada. For Singapore, it's going to be Wei Bin To, Yang Zhenrong, Marlon Prudencio, Hubert Wee, and Jeremy Koo. For Canada, we got Evan Borowski, Jeremy Hildebrand, Jesse Matthews, Dean Saldana, and Tony Leah. Really exciting. These are 10 really great players, and only one of these teams will finish in first place in Group C. Let's go to it and find out who it's going to be. Looks like all 10 players are logged on, and we got some matchups already getting underway. Let's check in with Wei Bin To and Tony Leah. They got started first, and let's just take a look at what's going on so far. Looks like an exchange to open from Wei Bin. He changed 4, and then Tony opened with Cuz, C-U-Z, for 28. A vowel dump move of Ow, A-U-E, for 16 points for Wei Bin, and it's back to Tony. Small lead early, 28-16. He's got first blank along with a nice scoring tile in the J. Obvious move of Jobs jumping out at me right there. 41, keeping your blank for next time. A nice juicy double-double laying open for you. So that's pretty tempting for sure. To everybody in the chat, though, please feel free to chime in and share your thoughts on other moves that could be possible here. Definitely plenty of possibilities on this turn and others in the future. So welcome to everybody. Welcome to Botder15, who's going to be giving us all of his botly insights on definitions of words and whatnot. Happy to have the bot with us. Thank you to Will for that. Ooh, Jawboner is very cool. If an A or a W randomly showed up in the middle of the board, you could play that disconnected 9. So Tony's going to opt to use the blank and play Jobbers rather than play Jobs and keep the blank for later. 60 points is pretty solid. Can't fight that too much. And now it's back to Wei Bin, who's going to be in an early hole, 88-16. A little bit of content-heavy rack, 3 Ts. First thing I'm seeing is Tickle, but that's pretty weak, only 18 points. How about Kittles? That's a word, right? 22. Get rid of another T. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat saying they prefer Jobs. I think I do too. What was it, 41 or 42? A pretty good score. And, keeping NR blank is very strong. The one hesitation I'd have is just the board might not be the most open for bingos if If that E gets blocked next turn, you might have fewer options, but still hard to argue with 41 keeping the blank. So Weibin does choose Ticket. I might have preferred Kittles a little bit, but they're both decent options. And it's back to Tony, who's got a 50-point lead early, and he's got an F and definitely some ways to use that. Something like Finn is reasonable here, 29. Is front, there you go, front for 31 would be reasonable. No, UF isn't good. What am I doing? I think I was looking at a different letter. Grift is what I was looking at, not UF. But Grift is only 22. Okay. Oh, Chris pointing out in the chat that Kittlist is the word. Okay, that was a big miss on Weibin's part. So, yeah, definitely not the best play there from Weibin. Ticket leaves a bit to be desired. Weibin goes with, Tony goes with Finn for 29, and now it's back to Weibin. Let's see here. Something like Glow looks pretty solid, 30 points, keeping ELT. And indeed, Tony, I keep getting confused. Weibin does play Glow pretty quickly. Does take an A for a Glow, so both players have to watch out for that hook now moving forward. So Tony now holding Doubting, D-O-U-T-I-N-G is a valid word. I don't immediately see a spot for that, unless I'm forgetting a hook for Finn. Oh, I am forgetting a hook. Yeah, Finn takes a D. That's a word. So Find and Doubting would be good here. Also Fino. Ooh, looks like Tony wasn't sure of Doubting. He's going to play Gout for 28. And that makes LU, so that's going to come off. Ouch. Not the first time we've seen a phony 2 in this tournament. Yes, he was doubting, as everybody makes the same joke all at once. So for Weibin, a chance to get back in the game, and he's drawn a good rack. Dilator, Red Tail, Trailed, Trialed, etc. Lots of bingos here. I think maybe the best option is Trialed with all the overlaps for 94. If Weibin can spot that one, he's going to be in front. Definitely lots of options here, though. And Weibin does find Trial. Nice play, 94 for him, and he takes the lead. I just want to point out in defense of both these players that the timing of this match is not super optimal. Weibin and the Singaporeans are forced to play at 9 in the morning. Tony and the Canadians are forced to play at 9 p.m., so it's a little bit early for Singapore, a little bit late for Canada. That's the trouble with scheduling a match for two countries that are on opposite corners of the world, especially when Canada's got players on both the East Coast and the West Coast of the country. So you're really looking at 15 hours of time zones being spanned by these teams, which is pretty brutal. But thanks to everybody for making it. Thanks to Jeremy for waking up early at 9 a.m. to play his games. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy that too much. And thanks to the East Coasters in Canada, Evan and Tony and Jeremy as well, for staying up a little bit later. It's about 9 p.m. their time. This should go till about 11:30, give or take. So it's a late night, but with Group C supremacy on the line, you got to do what you got to do. So it's funny because Trial gave another spot for Doubting here at 14F, making Ode, but Tony opts for this spot for Doubting. So he does eventually decide to play the bingo, and he's correct. And immediately Weibin comes back with Unhanded for 92. So a good start for Weibin after a rough couple of turns to begin the game. He's now got a couple of bingos down, and he has the lead. The Q for Tony, and there's an open U, but not the best rack to go with it. You could play Qua, keeping HMRRV. don't think he wants any part of that. But not a lot of words to spell with the QU and HMRRV. Yeah, it's being pointed out in the chat that you could just play Vem and leave the Q spot alone. Whoop, not there. I can click properly. There we go. Vem here is 21, gets rid of a bunch of your clunky consonants. And you just got to hope that the Q is still there next turn. If it's not, things get a little bit more unpleasant for you, but I'm not sure if you got a choice. You kind of have to play off these consonants. Vem looks pretty strong. I don't think you can stomach Qua with that leave. I mean, I suppose you could also just take out the spot with Harm. If you assume that spot's getting taken anyway, you might as well take it first. Yeah, so Harm is the choice, which I see the logic. You might as well take that spot yourself because Weibin's going to take it for you. Yeah, you have a backup U, Benji says. That's a good point. You have the U here at 4L. You can always use that spot for your Q. For Weibin, I see Favor. That looks like a strong play, 35. I don't know if there's anything else competitive with that in terms of just the straight equity value of it. Hard to argue with 35 points. With this kind of rack, you don't have much better, I don't think. You can just play FE for 29, but it's not really a leave worth fishing with, that Paver leave. So Favor does indeed come down, and nice spot for QAT for Tony if he wants it. That's 33. What else? What else? Could always play here, but Qua, Quat. Not sure if those are any better than just QAT up top. Tony does play QAT, and interesting rack for Weibin. He would have Paranoid if we were playing Clappers, but we're not. He would need a G for Pigeonry. Can't get one of those on this board either. Doesn't look like a bingo that actually plays. Yo and Yao keeping Piner, says James in the chat. Why am I blanking on where that W is? Oh, this one, yes, that looks like a very strong play. Okay, 35, keeping Piner, yeah. Very, very good. Seems like the play. So good close game here, 285, 266. Both players drawing pretty well and scoring lots of points. This is a pretty good shootout so far. 2 bingos to Weibin for 1 for Tony. Oh, a nice find of Proin for 47. I don't think any of us saw that. Nice play. Devors is the rack for Tony. Looks like it's going to play here. 82 points. Not sure what else he's got. Oh, Devors also plays here for a similar score, 84, yeah. Overused, doesn't quite fit through this U. So both players continuing to draw nice, balanced racks, lots of synergy. And I'll come down to which one of them slows down the scoring a little bit first. Now, Weibin fought through a couple of clunky racks early. He exchanged and then played for 16 and then 18 before the fireworks really started. Tony had the phony 2 in there, but other than that, has been consistently getting either 35 or a bingo. So both players Piling on the points. We've been with the lead right now by a bingo, but Tony can bingo right back if he can find Devores in either this spot for 82 or this spot for 84. Not the easiest word in the world. Not sure if he knows it or sees it, but even if he doesn't find that bingo, he's definitely got options. I mean, he's got ways to keep the rack nice and balanced and bingo soon. Yeah, he's going to play voted for 30, and now it's back to Wei Bin, who's got a 36-point lead. An interesting rack that's looking like it's not quite a bingo. Needs an R for rhyminess. Or an L for liminess. Yeah, there's stuff, but I don't think any of it plays on this board. So if you're Wei Bin, you're up by less than a bingo, only 36. You want to try to block what you can. There's quite a few spots on this board that are only okay, not great. Like it's hard to be sure whether to block line 15 here, line 4 here, line O here. It's just there's too many okay-ish spots to know which one to block. And you can't really control the entire board at this point. It's too open. So you're going to have to just kind of keep scoring, keep balancing, hope for the best. I might just consider something like MI for 25. You also try to keep the M. It's a pretty good tile for both scoring and bingoing with. Honestly, just is for 21 is not bad. Keeping EIMNS. And he's going to go with MI, which is totally reasonable. And Tony has got a blank. And this is going to get interesting. Wei Bin is up by a bingo, but Tony's going to play a bingo, and so we're going to have ourselves a very close game going down to the end. It's not the easiest rack in the world to find your bingos with, but he's got stuff. Looks like nothing plays as an 8-letter word from the D. But there's estrep is a valid word. That's one choice, but that is pretty terrifying. It opens up a giant double word score spot and a giant triple word score spot. What does he have that is safer than that? How about sepia? That seems pretty reasonable. Doesn't give back anything quite as ginormous. Oh, Peeper is making fat. There you go. Okay. Oh, Estrep played from C14 with all the overlaps. GIE, LAS, Jolt. Yeah, that's really sweet. Well, barring that, Peepers is also a fine play. 79 points and the lead. We've been now down by 18 with 10 in the bag. This is going to be close. Hello to Ricky. I'm sure you're cheering on your Singaporean buddies in this one. This is going to be a great match. I'm glad you're here to enjoy it with me. Iga is the play. Wow, that's very interesting. So Wei Bin is going for a fairly desperate triple word score setup, hoping that he can cash in with a big play next turn. Tony only ahead by 9 points. This is a close game. I'm not sure if Wei Bin needed to swing for the fences like that necessarily, but he's going for it. And Tony does not have an S. And so finally that play of Yao that James pointed out like 5 turns ago comes down. And does Wei Bin cash it in now? Does he play Wines? That's 54. It's not bad. It does empty the bag, but maybe that's okay. I suppose you could also just leave the spot and, save it for next time. It's still very, very hard to block. Yeah, Weiss is an adjective, so no Weisses. Oh, yeah, sinew, pretty similar to wines. Sense of an S hook for yourself, though. You still got to worry about your opponent holding that X. I wonder if there's a case to be made for some sort of play that blocks Knox over here. I don't know what that would be. You kind of have to cash in your S spot without messing around with anything else. A lot of love in the chat for sinew over wines. Not sure what the difference is exactly. They're pretty similar plays. Wines might be a little bit more closed. Maybe open is better for you. You'll be ahead by 10 points. It'll be 420 to 410. Ah, interesting decision. I'm not sure if there's any case to be made for saving the S hook for later and just playing somewhere else for now. I don't think that there's a good enough way to block this X spot. Maybe you're hoping to draw Knox yourself. I mean, you don't know that your opponent has the O and or the X. I'm still looking at this spot where you guys were talking earlier about where Estrep played all the overlaps. I mean, there's still big overlap potential. Like, just ES is 28 points. It's crazy. But obviously, with your S's right now, if you're waving, you're looking at the Iga spot that you set up. Yeah, Ricky pointing out just wuss in the chat, WUS. That would block the X hotspot and hope for something that you can hit next turn. You could even draw just something like Decision in the top right. But Weibin's going to keep it simple and just play wines, and he draws the X for himself. Wow. So Weibin now has a 10-point lead and the X. He doesn't have the O for Knox, but he might not need it. I mean, he can just play another X play of some kind. Oh, he's got Salix and Yaos for a whole bunch of points. That's like 53. I can't even count how many that is. It's a lot. Oh, it's pointed out that Nix plays instead of Knox. Yes, that is a good point. But yeah, I think Salix is probably a better option. Whole bunch of points, and you can close this thing out pretty easily from there. Nix plays off too few tiles, and yeah. For Tony, this is pretty rough. You don't really have a way to score enough to outrun whatever X play Weibin's got coming. Let's point out in the chat that bluey is a word that Tony has. Not sure if that's going to go anywhere useful, but it is a word that he has. Tough position now for Tony, for sure. Looks like we've got at least one result already in, as Evan Borowski has beaten Young Jun Ron, so that's going to be one win for Canada right off the bat. And Boo comes down from Tony, giving him a 12-point lead. I'll go ahead and update that scoreboard for you now. So Evan with the first win of the match. Canada goes up 1-0. And assuming Weibin holds on to win this one, which looks like he should, will be all square at 1-1. Seems like Salix will be just fine. 46 points. She'll be up by a good margin here. I did not see the pasta dinner that Evan had. I'm very curious. I'll have to look into that. Speaking of dinner, I'm kind of jealous that my prime Saturday night dinner cooking time is taken away by this match. We're streaming from about 6 to 8:30 or 9, and I'm gonna have to order a pizza. I can't really cook anything tonight, so that's a bummer. But jealous of Mr. Borowski for getting to have a nice home cooked meal. I know he's quite the chef. And he's cooking up a 1-0 lead for Canada tonight too, so doing well in all regards. Evan is. 432, 420, a 12-point lead for Tony. Wibbin's got just over a minute left to figure out this endgame. He should be okay here. He seems to have a winning endgame if he can just find Salix, or I think probably just Nyx would probably win eventually as well. Salix for 46. I don't think he gives back anything too scary. If he plays Lit, you're still going to win. I don't think you're going to be C-stuck. There's a spot for Cobb here. I think Kate is a word, right? Yeah, so definitely some options. TEIL plays at 3H. Oh yeah, so it does. So Salix will put him at 466, and then TEIL is how many points? 11, 14, not enough. Oh, Waven's going to play Lax. That might not be good enough. 33, and now Tony's only down by 21 points. I think Tony's going to pull this out. So Waven just ran out of time and couldn't spot Salix, I suppose. Herp, indeed. So yeah, Teal, as pointed out in the chat, is definitely an option, but I think really any outplay that's reasonable. I mean, even Tile, 10 points is enough to win this game. You're going to get 10, 442, plus the 14 from your opponent, and that wins by 3. So really, any reasonable out from Tony should do it. He's got 2.5 minutes to find it. Another result, by the way, Jeremy Hildebrand with the win over Marlon Prudencio for Canada. And Tony's going to win this one, too. 456, 453, a 3-point win for Tony. So great start for Canada, not so good for Singapore so far. And let's see who is still playing. We've got Gretz, that's Dean Saldanha on your right, and on your left is Lord Livgan, that is Jeremy Koo. Looks like Dean's ahead by a bingo, but Jeremy's got a bingo-looking rack in front of him. I'll go ahead and update the scoreboard with the 3 matches we have in so far. It is 3-0 Canada. Is that centered? I feel like it's not. Let me just move that over a little bit. There we go. So, Canada 3, Singapore 0 so far, but it is still quite early. We've got Dean with a roughly 1 bingo lead over Jeremy right here, and in the other game still going. Oh, just kidding. There is not another game still going. Jesse Matthews has finished his game, and that is a win for Hubert Wee of Singapore over Jesse Matthews. So we can update the score now from 3-0 to 3-1 in favor of Canada, and to favor to salvage a 3-2, looks like it's going to be a comeback here for Jeremy Koo. Jeremy is down by 77, and his rack of Eranos doesn't appear to play anywhere. I'm seeing some lively debate in the chat over which country is better, Singapore or Canada. I myself have only been to one of the two, so I will abstain. Having said that, Canada is way too cold. So 3-1 early lead for Canada, and let's see if Jeremy can do something here to make a comeback. He plays 1, keeping AERS. He's trying to draw a bingo in line O. It's going to be tough to hit that, but he's definitely got a strong leave to work with. Weird tile pool, but there's certainly some things you can draw. Now for Dean. He could obscure the spot a little bit by playing Doff for 28. That makes it a little bit harder to hit bingos down along line O, and bingos in line 14 are hard to hit, might not score much, and might offer you counterplay. So after a play like Doff, I think the board's a lot more under control from Dean's perspective. I would look at a play like that. Let's see what Dean's going to think of, though. He's got 2.5 minutes to process this and find the best move. Well, not really. He needs to play faster than that. He's got a hard endgame ahead of him, potentially. Was Singapore created when Malaysia decided they didn't want it anymore? I didn't know that. Definitely want to fact check this Jalopnik character. Can never trust him. So Dean, with now under 2 minutes to go, definitely want to find something soon. It looks like Evan, Hubert, and Jesse are all observing the same game on ISC that I am. Everyone's cheering on their teammates here. In a match like this between two great teams, every game counts. Dean really getting low on time now. I would definitely just play Doff quickly. It's a reasonable way to score and balance and make the board a little bit tougher for your opponent, and you gotta play faster now. Just 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Jeremy, a little bit of time trouble himself, 2:12 on his clock. Both players have to save some time in case this endgame gets a little bit difficult. We know that Jeremy played 1 fishing with AERS. He might hit a bingo, and if he does, this is going to get close. So FID is the choice for Dean, and it looks like no bingo for Jeremy that I can see. Is there a way to kind of play through this quickly? I would probably play Vara 33, keep ELS, try bingo next time. It seems like a strong choice. The Malaysian parliament voted 126-0 to amend the constitution, expelling Singapore from Malaysia as an independent country. Wow. Just imagine if that hadn't happened, how good Malaysia's team would be in this tournament. They'd have all the best players from Malaysia and Singapore on one team. That would be terrifying. Just imagine Ganesh and Weibin and Hubert and Vanatha just all coming at you. That'd be just terrifying. In any event, Dean's now ahead by about 100, and yeah, Vara is the choice from Jeremy. You know, Jeremy is still a little bit within striking distance. If he does draw a bingo next turn, he's not dead yet, but it's going to be tough. Jotted, it's going to make it a bit tougher. Now 123-point lead, and bag is empty, and yeah, Jeremy's got nothing doing here. So this is going to be a win for Dean and a 4-1 early advantage for Canada in this match. But we should know not to get too carried away with early leads. We saw the U.S. earlier today leading 7-3 after round 2 and ended up losing to Ireland. So you just never know. Early leads can dissipate, or they can snowball into bigger leads. Just either way is possible. Yes, Magma are the last 5 tiles on Dean's rack. And for Jeremy, looks like no bingo. Something like FOH or FEA. He plays FEH. And, oh, Magma, nice spot there. 20 points for that. And that's going to do it. So Dean wraps up the win. And that will give us a 4-1 advantage for the Canadians as I update the scoreboard. And let's hop over to the matchup coverage screen and take a quick look at all the games. So we had in round 1, Weibin played Tony, and that was the game where Tony snuck in there with a win in the endgame. We had Yang Zhenrong against Evan Borowski. That was a win for Evan. Notch another victory for Team Canada there. We had Marlon versus Jeremy, and that was a win for Jeremy. Oh, that's the wrong team. My bad. Let's make that Singapore. And then we had Hubert with a win over Jesse. And then we had Jeremy. Wait, we had Jeremy beating Marlon. My bad. It's confusing because there's Jeremy's on both teams. Jeremy Hildebrand for Canada beat Marlon. Let's get that right. So that is Canada winning that one. I swear I'll get this right. So Evan won in game 2 for Canada. Why won't that show up? Clicking the button and it's not working. We'll come back to this. Anyway, in any event, the score is Canada 4 and Singapore 1. Let's move on to round number 2. There's already a couple of games getting underway. We can see who's playing in those. Looks like Hubert Wee has already gotten underway with Jeremy Hildebrand. So on your left is Jomi Jomi. That's Jeremy Hildebrand for Canada. And on your right is FLA. That's Hubert Wee for Singapore. Opening rack of AILMMS. Lammies is a valid word, and that's a 78-point valid word. I don't believe it takes any hooks. Oh, melisma, there you go. That's also 78. Yeah, Lammies would have been no hooks, so that would have been fine too. Back to Hubert, who has the first blank. I don't believe he's got a bingo with that, but he can play the Z now and score a little bit. Zendo looks pretty reasonable, something like that. Wavin says he's going off. I appreciate that, Wavin. Don't cheat. Doesn't is a valid non-bingo play. Let's see. Do we like scoring 64 and burning the blank? Or do we like just dozen, 30 keeping RT blank? It's a close call. I think that's, right around the cutoff point for how much the blank is worth. That extra 32, 34-ish. You can play ads and double next turn. Ooh, I like that. So you play ads here, and any word that has the E, 6 out of 7, will hit the double word score. And also you've got this E to play through for 8s as well. So a lot of draws with NORT blank can turn into a bingo. That is pretty clever. I like that a lot. Yeah, I think ads looks like a pretty strong choice. Wow, Ricky points out in the chat that Canada drew all 10 blanks in the first round. What are the odds of that? Well, it's 1 in 2 to the 10th power. That's math I'm too lazy to do. So just looking at ads here, seeing if there's anything else worth considering. I think I like ads better than a play like doesn't, but 64 is a pretty good value for your blank, so you can't really go wrong either way. Hubert taking a long time to think it over. Definitely considering all of his options here. While we're waiting on Hubert to think, I'm going to try and fix this matchup coverage screen. I don't know what's going on with it. So only Hubert won for Singapore. So we should have 4 Singaporean flags, and I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. All right, so that should be Team 1. Why is that not showing up? That's so strange. I'll fix it later. Zendo is the play. Okay, so Zendo keeping RT blank. And immediately Jeremy bingos with tack nodes. But now Hubert with that blank. Looks like he's still not going to bingo. He's got a little bit of a clunky rack. HLO RTV blank. Boy, yeah, that's not great. You want to keep the board nice and open so you can bingo preferably multiple times. So, something like Holt might be warranted here. Some kind of play that keeps as many floaters open as possible. If he had played dozen, he would have dozens now. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess he is keeping the T, so maybe it's worth playing dozen to go for the H to go with it. That's not bad. I see a lot of lively math debate in the chat. Gotta love that. Benji, I think you're right. I think it is just 1/2 to the 10th, but for some reason these guys are massively overthinking it. For some reason. Gotta do something to pass the time while Hubert thinks very carefully. Yes, I did say. Oh my god, I just got the pun. I said math debate, yes. Not touching that. So what can Jeremy? Okay, so he replaced Hilt for 21. I might have gone for Holt just to keep the board more open, but yeah, same idea. Getting rid of your HL and T and keeping your floaters up top open. Interesting rack for Jeremy. You can play Judd, keeping both Fs if you really want to do that. I don't know. Judd seems better than anything else I can find, but maybe there's a better option. It's a shame there's no word like Jaff or something, but yeah, there's nothing like that. John, okay, keeping DFF blank. That's fine, I suppose. Let's see. Outliver is a word, so Hubert will have a bingo of some kind here. Anything else? Let's see. Biovular, I think, is a thing. That's 62. I mean, these are not very high scoring bingos, but what are you going to do with that VU combination? It's not easy. Yeah, I'm not seeing much else besides those kind of cheap 62-point kind of bingos. So it's not a great outcome for Hubert after hoarding the blank for so long to. Oh, Biofular plays through that A. That's better. 74. Okay, okay. That puts him within a bingo. And the bad news for Hubert is that Jeremy's drawn the other blank. And so now Jeremy's got a 63-point lead and the second blank on his rack. That's pretty good. Yeah, Doff looks pretty solid, keeping PAT blank for next turn. Doff or Daff? So Doff here is 26 and Daff here is 19. There's also Diff. All sorts of ways to use those tiles. Oh, Daff at C1. Yeah, that would have been pretty strong, huh? Okay. Fat comes down for 29, and it's back to Hubert, who is down quite a bit. See if he can make something happen here. It's not easy. I was just looking at things like tough. That's only 18. That's not very strong. There's probably something better than that. Lots of fat today. Apparently that is the case. I see a lot of Americans in the chat watching, and I'm not surprised because this is a pretty important match for the U.S. team. In the playoffs next weekend, the U.S. will play the loser of this game. So if Canada holds on to win, it'll be Canada versus Ireland and Singapore versus the U.S. in the next round. Single elimination from here on out. So a lot of import for this match. Viewed for 22 is the play from Hubert. So Jeremy now leads by 70 points, and he's got bingos like Snifted. Yeah, he's in pretty good shape here. I think we are in moseying territory at this point. So it might be time to check on the other games and see what's going on. Let's take a look at Jesse Matthews and Jeremy Koo. This one's still pretty early, and the board's fairly tight. On your left is Soccer Guy, Jesse Matthews for Canada, and on your right is Lord Livgan, that is Jeremy Koo for Singapore. Both players 0-1 so far. Jeremy lost to Dean in the first round, and Jesse lost to Hubert. So one of them is going to get a win here. Suggestion of Igd. We're just talking about Igd here. It's 27. Yeah, that's not bad. I was better to play Igd here for 30. And don't want to keep two eyes. Other one's better. Yeah, looks like. Oh, or you can play Gidgies. Is that how you spell Gidgies? It is not. That is a phony, and it's up to Jesse to challenge it. He does challenge. It comes off. And Jesse's got a big spot to play Izar's. 72 points coming down real soon, I'm guessing. So a pivotal phony for Jeremy. You really can't give him a free turn in that spot. That's going to be pretty crippling if Jesse can land the 72-pointer and a big lead. And a sigh from Ricky. Apparently sighing is contagious over there in Singapore. Jesse taking his time. Looks like Izar's is probably the play, but he's just going to look on a little bit longer and survey all of his options. So this game opened with Limo for 12 from Jesse playing vertically. Ionon for 20, and then Win for 41. That's how Jesse got a small lead, was playing that 41-point play of WYM. And so a game that starts out pretty slow can suddenly become a 100-point blowout just by Jeremy letting Jesse have that Z-Hot spot and Jesse cashing it in. He does play Izars, and now it is back to Jeremy with his rack of phony spelling of Gidgies. Still no bingo, and now your spots for Ig are all blocked. Probably don't want to play it. Whoop! Don't want to play it there. That's illegal. Probably don't want to play it here either. It's only 21, and you're giving back all sorts of hooks up top. That's a little bit crazy. Not sure what you do want to do. Maybe just gig. 18 keeping DEIS. That's pretty reasonable. Gig for 18 comes down, and Welders is the draw for Jesse. Once again, we might want to mosey. We got a couple of blowouts here in round 2. Jesse doing just fine against Jeremy, and a nice start for, I'm already forgetting who, the last match we watched. Nice start for Jeremy against Hubert as well. So Canada just off to a fantastic start in this match. They're already 4-1, and they could be 6-1 if Jeremy and Jesse will take care of business as they have been so far. Tough start for Singapore. Definitely a lot of variance in these 25-game matches. 25 games is not long enough for the best team to rise to the top every time. A great team like Singapore can have a rough match, and it's an unforgiving format. You have one bad round, and suddenly you're in a hole. Not a lot of time to get out of it. So Jesse chooses Welders and Ionones, and I choose to mosey along to the next game. Let's see what's going on with Evan Borowski and Marlon Prudencio. It looks like another Canada lead. Evan is ahead by 80 points against Marlon. It's Evzone on your left, Evan Borowski, and Zanjero on your right, Marlon Prudencio. Evan is holding Petage, which is not a word. He's probably got something decent enough. I think Peach is pretty reasonable here. 25. 25 is not that great. Might be a better option here. He chooses Peach. Okay. Looks like we do have one final as Tony Leah has beaten Young Zhenrong. Another win for the Canadians. That's the only one in this match that is final so far, so I'll go ahead and mark that one down. As far as games that have gone final, the score is Canada 5, Singapore 1. Big start for the Canadians. Singapore, a very strong team. Still a lot of time for them to come back, but this is not good. I mean, a big lead for Evan. We saw Jesse and Hubert with big leads. I mean, this could be 8-1 pretty shortly, actually. Benji, your parents have a pet gate. Is there some scandal involving a pet? Why is there a pet gate? Let's see here. Mutt, D-E-N. This looks not so good for Marlon, or sorry, for Evan. There is that nice insertion of the D in between E and H. You could play med for 30. It's just kind of a cute play. I'm not really sure if it's any good here. I mean, maybe there's a better way to score and balance and not keep that leave. Let's see, Derm is 30. Same leave, though. Term is 3 points less, but ditches one of the T's. None of these plays seem that great. Interesting to note that Wound takes a Y, and there is one more Y unseen, so that's going to be a big hot spot. Whoever hits it first is going to have a nice score coming to them. Untied is the choice from Evan. Only 16 points. That's interesting. Not sure what the thought process was there. So no Y for Woundy for Marlin, but he does have the X. Not seeing a super great spot for the X at this point. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all I see is something like box. It's only 26. Don't love that. Marlin down to just over 3 minutes. Does want to play pretty quickly. So untied has the benefit of kind of clogging up the board. That's interesting. Oh, peg box is a word. Okay. Peg box is, yeah, 38. That's pretty nice. Does serve to further clog up the board, as we've talked about, but puts you within what, 53? Yeah, that's still a pretty big deficit to make up. Yeah, you'd love to bingo, but it's just going to be hard to do. Tough board, tough rack. Not that great of a pool either. Evan is definitely in the driver's seat here. We do have a final from Jeremy and Hubert. Jeremy Hildebrand for Canada does get the win there. And let's see. Yeah, I think those are the only games that are finals so far. So I'll go to the screen and give another win to the Canadians. That makes it 6-1. And again, we know that Jesse is winning his game and that Evan is winning his. So it could very easily be 8-1 before much longer. I've not checked on. I think it's Weibin and Dean. I don't know what's going on in their game. Weibin is losing, says Ricky. Wow. So this could be a 1-9 start for the Singaporeans. This could be really bad for them. T-box is the play, so it's similar to peg box, but opens the board a little bit differently. Now you're looking at a big giant X dangling in the triple lane, which is very interesting. I don't usually like to make plays like that when I'm down by a bingo, because you're just letting your opponent keep scoring well. But even if you do draw a bingo, it's not going to help if your opponent's scoring, 45 this turn or something. So I'm not sure about that play. Marlon's in a tough spot no matter what. The good news for Marlon is that Evan is drawn pretty badly, and he can't really take that spot. He's going to choose Fent along the bottom instead for 31, and, well, I'm not sure if Marlon can use the spot either. He's down by 92, and just doesn't seem to have the right tiles here. They're just not working. Can't underlap this N at all. I don't think he can play anything to this X at all. So it's just kind of a tough position right now. Evan 330, Marlon 238. Marlon is very low on time as well. 30 seconds left. Now down to 20 seconds, and he's just not coming up with much. I mean, you could just, geez, you could play Gip for 29. That's just going to kill the board even more. I wonder if there's some kind of creative board opening. Maybe on the left side of the board you could do, yeah, I don't know. Lip is the choice, and now for Evan, who is in command, you just got to not open anything too scary, and you should be fine here. He draws the Y for Woundy, and yeah, that's going to do it. Evan has a commanding lead now. Let's check in on Weibin and Dean. And, well, you know, Weibin's losing, but not by too much. After Briskin for 87, Weibin is back in the game a little bit. He very well may have drawn the second blank. An X on Dean's rack, and I don't know if he has a great spot for it. He doesn't have a vowel to play at 15A here in the corner. He could just play tax. Whoop, not like that. Tax like this. That's only 20. I wonder if there's a possible bingo for Weibin in this situation. It seems like it's not impossible. Yeah, I mean, if the J is in the bag, you could lose to airfare along the bottom here. So Dean plays Sex for 40, and indeed airfare was on Weibin's rack, and it's blocked. Very nice play by Dean to block the possible out bingo, and I don't believe that Weibin has anything anymore. The only 8 through the E is Seafarer, which does not fit. You'd have to make a DS. It looks like the play of Sex is going to score 40 and block everything. So it looks like Canada's going to take a big, big lead after this round. Still waiting on these games to go final. Only 2 results are in officially, which means officially it's going to be 6-1 Canada, but very possibly 9-1. This could get bad for the Singaporeans. Just surveying the position here, looking for any way that Weibin can steal this one. I just don't think it's there. He could try Zloter and play airfare here. Don't think Dean would go for that. I don't think there's anything through the X. Although I'll be honest, I didn't look it up. Yeah. Tough day for Weibin so far. Losing by, I think it was 3 points in the first one, and now just having his game-winning bingo blocked at the end by Dean. Rough morning for Mr. Weibinto. Singapore's in Kenya mode. They need to activate Ghana mode. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Every match Canada's played started out lopsided. In week 1, Canada was down a lot to Ghana. They were down 72. They came back and won. In round 2, Canada got up a lot on Kenya, and they just stayed up a lot and won. And now in round 3 of this tournament, it's another big blowout lead early, this time in Canada's favor. We'll see if they can hold on or if Singapore comes raging back in rounds 3, 4, 5. Still a lot of Scrabble left to be played, but right now it looks to be all Canada. We will update you as any final results come in. It looks like we're still waiting on a lot of them. Looks like a lot of players are actually observing the same game we are. Yeah. Jeremy and Hubert are both watching as Weyben takes on Dean. Tough situation for Weyben. He really thought he was going to have a chance to bingo out, and I can't blame the guy just taking a little extra time here to scan the board one last time and look, but yeah, he's not going to find it. Rares is the play for 26 points. Not sure why he used the blank instead of just playing rare, keeping the blank, but maybe he's got a really good spot to play FA. Oh yeah, FA plays here for 29, and that seems fine. Okay. For Dean, it's a pretty ugly endgame rack, but it shouldn't matter too much. Just play off these tiles. Don't get stuck with anything. I don't think a V-stick is a serious threat. Actually, well, there's the spot here with VAR. You're definitely not J-stuck. You've got, Jib plays here, and Joy plays here. Oh, it's pointed out in the chat that Moki takes an F motif. Very nice. So Dean finishing this game off with a stylish endgame play from Weyben, but it's not enough. And Dean gets the victory here. I will go ahead and add another win to the win total. Let's check back in on Jesse Matthews and Jeremy Koo. And oh my, Jeremy's down to his last 17 seconds on his clock. And wow. Not a good day for Jeremy Koo either. We'll go ahead and watch the closing bits of this one. Jeremy down to 10 seconds now. He's got to play off these tiles. He plays 2 keys for 6 points. And that's going to be it. So Jesse Matthews finishes off this win. So it is a 4-0 round so far for the Canadians. And let's check in on Tony. Oh no, that's a previous, or that's the next round. Who are we missing? If we have Tony, Jeremy, Dean, and Jesse, we need to get the result from Evan. And it looks like Evan has finished his game. And Evan won against Marlon. So it is a clean sweep. 5-0 in favor of the Canadians. So instead of being up 4-1, Canada is now up 9-1. What a run for Canada to start this match, 9-1. Let's pop back over to matchup coverage and input some wins on the scoreboard. We had in round 2 a win for Canada as Dean tops Weyben, Tony tops Yang Zhenrong, Evan beats Marlon, Jeremy beats Hubert, and Jesse beats Jeremy. A clean sweep for Canada. Going back to round 1 really quickly, see if I can fix that. Dean had a win for Jeremy Koo, and that is round 1, game 5. So that's one for Canada, and Hubert had the only win for Singapore, so that should be a win for Canada in game 3. Let's fix that. I don't know what's wrong with this screen. I will try and fix it later, but in any event, the score is Canada 9, Singapore 1. And just a fantastic start for the Canadians. Let's see if they can turn it around. Singapore, that is, moving forward. There are already some matches underway here in the third round. Let's take a look as Marlon Prudencio takes on Tony Leah. And it looks like Marlon has a little bit of a lead early, but Tony has the first blank, and Tony's going to get the first bingo here. It's already 9-1 Canada, and a chance to widen the lead a little bit more here. Getting a request in the chat to show Jeremy versus Jeremy because of names. I gotta say, I am pretty annoyed having two Jeremys in one match. It's really confusing for me. I am constantly terrified that I'm going to put the wrong result slip in the wrong column and give somebody a win they shouldn't get and all that, but nonetheless, I will abide by this request. Jeremy and Jeremy are both great guys, and I enjoy watching them play, so we will tune into them when we can. For now, it looks like Tony and Marlon are the only ones playing so far, so we will stick with this game for now, and I'll let you know once the others get started. 78-54, Marlon with the early lead, but for Tony, it looks like a bingo rack. Something like Negroids is reasonable here, and that indeed does come down for 72. And the other blank goes to Marlon. Okay. Bijou plus L and a blank. Definitely seems like there are some options here. Yeah, sorry about the audio. I've had a little bit of trouble with my fan on my laptop. I will try to filter that out as best I can. If it gets really bad, let me know and I can close out of my streaming software and try to open it back up again and see if that helps. But this is the best I can do at the moment. Anyway, for Marlon, Bijou L blank. And I don't think there's really a great play that stands out here. Is there a way to score well with the J? I'm just not seeing much. Looking over here, and okay, Jew for 33 is not bad. And double checking that Assegai is spelled that way, and it is. So Assegai, looks like Tony's going to choose the more defensive placement of Assegai, not opening a triple-triple, but he does open a big hot spot here at N6. It's a little bit of a concern. So another lead for the Canadians, 186 to 111. Looks like a lot of other matches are getting started. Unfortunately, the one that has not begun is Jeremy versus Jeremy. So sorry, guys, we'll have to wait on that one. Let's just jump around a little bit, see what's going on in these other games. Youngjan Rong is playing against Dean Saldana. Looks like they're just getting started with Canoe being the opening from Dean. Looks like Young is drawn biparted through the E. And he does play biparted, there you go. And it looks like Lealties doesn't quite fit. Not sure if there is a bingo that actually plays on this board. Oh, Realize fits, okay. Definitely do that. So we're going to have a couple of bingos early in this one. Anyway, on command, I will go ahead and tune into Jeremy versus Jeremy. I know you got to give the people what they want. And Jeremy Koo on your left as Lord Livkin against Jeremy Hildebrand for Canada on your right as Jomi Jomi is this matchup. And it looks like Jeremy Koo has the opening rack of Unreals. So he's going to start with a bingo, assuming he finds and plays it. And it's a good start for the Singaporean Jeremy against the Canadian Jeremy. So another vertical opening, yeah. Let's not encourage them, but whatever. I see Benji in the chat really enjoying the Jeremy versus Jeremy thing. I'm really glad. If my sound is really bad, I can try to close out and restart the streaming software. That sometimes does help. I don't want to cut off the stream if I don't have to. That might be the best option if the sound is quite bad. Then again, if you guys just want to watch on mute, that's also an option. You can still enjoy the chat, still watch the games. Yeah, I'm going to hop out for just a second, and I'll be right back with the stream in about 30 seconds. I'm just going to restart the software, see if that helps a little bit. See you guys soon. A little bit. I'm just going to restart the software and hope that maybe the sound quality gets a little bit better. I'm using all the filters I can to block out any laptop fan noise, but it still sometimes has some glitches. Let me know in the chat if things get any better or if they don't, and do the best I can. But anyway, didn't seem to miss much here in this game. Just kidding, missed quite a bit. Jor for 52 comes down for Jeremy Koo, followed by Flickers for 94 for Jeremy Hildebrand. And that's going to be a close game. Jeremy Koo 118, Jeremy Hildebrand 113. I swear to God, I am not outside in a hurricane. I am just inside with a laptop that is having some issues. I am strongly considering buying a new one, even though this one's only a year old. And if this doesn't get any better, I think I'll have to. Let's see. So no 7 or 8 letter bingos in this rack. CEINRTY. What can you do if you are Jeremy Koo in this situation? It's a close game. You don't need to necessarily open the board or close it. Just kind of playing for equity is fine. Something like Icky is pretty decent. 26, keeping ENRT. I don't hate that. Just to be clear, I'm not asking for donations for a laptop. I'll buy it myself. I don't mind. It is my own problem to deal with, and I will deal with it. Definitely want to bring you guys as high quality a broadcast as possible, especially as we move to the playoffs next week moving forward. So I may rush to deliver a new computer in time for next Saturday, if it comes down to it. I actually am using a separate mic this direction on the laptop, and it's still not helping. The fan noise issue is pretty bad. I've turned on all the filters and whatnot, and it's yeah, still kind of an issue. Anyway, for Jeremy Koo now, CINRTY. What does one do? kind of rack where you'd spend 5 minutes hopeless looking for a bingo. Yeah, me too, honestly. Yeah, I think Icky is the play. Decent score, decent leave. And for Jeremy H, looks like there's a pretty obvious spot for the Z, and something like Zep or Z, probably Z, should come down pretty quickly. Z sets up Gape next to it. You can play G-A-P-E. Oh, but P is a 67. Okay. Can't argue with 67. So Jeremy H takes a little bit of a lead, but it's back to Jeremy K with a pretty strong rack. Needs a I or a T to bingo with. He doesn't have those. Orienter won't fit. Rotner doesn't play at all. Is there a way to play short here and fish for a bingo? Not sure how to go about this turn. You're down by 36. You don't really want to play too fishy and start to lose the outrunning game. You want to keep pace the best you can. There's not a lot of great options here. Fortunately, Ricky, you are not valid. So there's no or anything like that you can make. Try being less phony, Ricky. I believe in you, Ricky. Someday. EENORRT. What is there to do if you are Jeremy here? By Jeremy, I mean Jeremy Koo. I hate you guys so much for making me do this. I'm going to keep saying Jeremy every turn and forgetting there's two Jeremys. It's just a cruel joke you're playing on me, make me call this game. There's not a lot of ways to score decently with 1-point tiles on this board. I'm just kind of scanning for ways to score 25 or something, and there's not much. Hey, it stopped. That's great. Okay. Very glad to hear that. I tried a bunch of different avenues, such as filtering out the fan and unplugging the charger so there's less fan noise, and I'm glad that it eventually pays off. All the things I try to fix it. So a good comes down for 38 for Hildebrand. That's going to be a 60-point lead now. And it looks like Koo's got a bingo. You can play Enervate or Venerate. Seems like a pretty strong play. I'm being asked, what did I do? A bunch of things. I'll keep the long story short. I've played a lot with filters in OBS, and let's leave it at that. Yeah, Enervate seems like a strong play here. And it does indeed come down, and now the Q on Hildebrand's rack is going to be an issue. There's a spot to play QIN into the N in Enervate. Enervate, by the way, takes a D for denervate in the front. All right, so QINS comes down. That's a 33-point play for Hildebrand, and now a lead of what? He's up by 28. And there's the first blank for Jeremy Koo. Something like Few for 35, keeping RIB blank is pretty good. Yeah, I mean, Few, Webb, these are all similar plays. Wife, 39, keeping BR, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good point. You might want to keep your eye considering the options here in column 15. At the same time, though, I mean, if you're trying to bingo, it's not the easiest lane to overlap with a bingo. And Wife does score quite a bit more, 39 versus 35, 4 points more. I might lean Wife, but it's close. I feel like this spot is more likely to get overlapped with like a 32-point play than an actual bingo, but I don't know. Deistu. We got a close game now, and Hildebrand is looking at a tricky rack. Looks like no bingo, and not a great way to score well either. Again, there is the denervate hook, but you don't really want to play something that just like opens up a giant spot in line one for your opponent. So yeah, I don't know. Etui, suggested by Ricky. Where? Oh, Etui over on the right. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. 23, keep DES. Open a nice lane for yourself to use next turn with your DES. Seems pretty strong. Sweet is 34. Yep. So 34 versus 23. Is it worth burning the blank for 11 points? It's usually pretty good to do that, but DES is a pretty nice leave on this board. I mean, you've got spots to bingo now with the lane you're creating in line 14, along with the hooks on the innervate and the line 12 area here. So it might be worth keeping a more bingo prone leave, but it's definitely a close call. Definitely the extra points for Sweet are worth considering. Yeah, maybe Sweet. So Atui is the choice from Jeremy Hildebrand, and now it's back to Jeremy Koo, who's got that blank. And it looks like he's going to bingo. Is there anything better than Winter, though? There probably is. Maybe there's not. Yeah, the first thing I saw was Winter. It actually does triple the W, so 69 points is not bad, and Jeremy does play it. So now Jeremy Koo with the bingo leads Jeremy Hildebrand by 49. Back to Hildebrand to respond. Not a great bingo rack here, but he can maybe find a way to score and stay within striking distance. There's a chance that Singapore won't lose by round 3 yet. Yeah, there's definitely a chance of that. Yeah, if Canada just goes 4-1 this round, they've got it already locked up. Ooh, Will points out plimed is a word. That's nice. Plimed is 28. Definitely serves to block up quite a bit of real estate on the board, though. Having said that, I'm not sure if there's really any much of an alternative. Huh. God bless you too, David Eldar. God bless you too. And good luck in your match. For those of you who are just tuning into this tournament, we've got a whole lot of dramatic action coming up this weekend as we've got 3 matches where it is do or die for both teams. Nigeria playing Australia, the UK playing Malaysia, and India playing Thailand. All 3 of those matches, the winner goes on, the loser goes home. So a whole lot of suspense for the rest of this weekend. I plan to kick back with a beer and enjoy it after I'm done streaming my my 2 matches. So far in this one, Canada doing very well, but Singapore trying to mount a comeback. Jeremy Koo doing pretty well in this one. What do you mean whatever I just did? I didn't do anything. I was minding my own business. Wind tunnel returns. Honestly, Will, yeah, I probably am going to stay up till 3 a.m. and watch because, I mean, this is my only chance to see do or die action between 6 of the top teams in the tournament. I kind of can't miss it. I'll probably just, call him to work sick on Monday. Did I move closer to the computer? I don't think I did. Maybe if I, just lean really far back from the computer, it'll be harder to hear. Tell me if this sounds any better. Oh, interesting. It's better. Okay. The only problem now is I can't touch the computer to change the scores or anything like that. Okay. Maybe I will just modify my posture so that I am not sitting as close to the computer as I was before. You think Marlon came back from the dead against Tony Leah? That is interesting. It didn't look like that was going to happen for a while. Maybe the tables have turned a little bit. Yeah, I just want to say that I really enjoy the balance of time slots we have on our broadcasting team. I'm a West Coaster on the U.S. and I stay up late. Will's an East Coaster and he wakes up early. Between the 2 of us, we can cover a whole lot of ground. And then having Jeremy in Singapore and Aditya in India, who can also fill in during the time zones when we're not awake, is really great. Thanks to having a complete team like that, we can really cover the entire world, all around the clock, all the time zones, and get all 8 matches streamed, which is really cool. And of course, thanks to Will for streaming 2 matches in a row with India, Thailand, and Malaysia, UK tomorrow. That is a crazy schedule, and boy, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know you can pull it off. You're ready. Okay. Your body's ready. I like it. And of course, you get 2 really exciting matches. I mean, India and Thailand, Malaysia and the UK, 4 great teams, whole lot of talent. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, outsaid is the word on Jeremy Koo's rack, and if he finds it and plays it, that should just about put this one away. We do have some final results in round 3. Yang Zhenrong has gotten a win for Singapore against Dean Saldanha. And in another result, it looks like Marlon Prudencio has won as well. Marlon beats Tony. So Singapore with a couple of wins here. And it looks like Jeremy Koo just needs to find outsaid, and he can slam the door on this one and beat Jeremy Hildebrand. So this could be 3 wins for the Singaporeans, who are beginning their comeback a little bit. Wow, Ricky in the chat says Marlon was down 127, and he came back and won by 2. 7 moves, that's crazy. We already saw one crazy 5-0 turn of events as Ireland went 5-0 in round 3 against the U.S. earlier today, and it's possible that Singapore can do the same thing. That'll be interesting. So it looks like Jeremy Koo is going to miss out sad. I think we can call that sad, but I think Jeremy's going to still pull this one out. Jeremy Hildebrand is drawing pretty weird. He can play Vox, but that's not going to get him anywhere close to winning this game. Yes, out sad indeed. Let me just quickly update the scoreboard with the 2 wins that we have already. It's no longer 9-1, it is now 9-3 in Canada's favor. Still a blowout, but a little bit less of a blowout than before. Looks like the other matches are still going on. Hubert and Wei Bin are still playing against Jesse and Evan. We'll definitely switch over to one of those in just a moment. I just want to see if there's anything left for Hildebrand to do right now to give himself like a desperation chance to win, but I don't think it's possible. Yeah, Ricky pointing out that Singapore needs 3 4-1s in a row. That would get them 12 more wins, and 12 plus 1 is 13. Yeah, so it's exactly 4-1, 4-1, 4-1 would do it. Ooh, Weibin 402, Jesse 398. All right, maybe we should skip around to that one then. That looks like a banger. Let's observe Soccer Guy and TWQ. So on your left, TWQ is Weibin To for Singapore. On your right, Soccer Guy, Jesse Matthews for Canada. It is it is Weibin on turn, ahead by 4 points, and it is his turn. And he's got a Q with a nice synergistic Q-U-A, lots of good stuff. You could play Qua. Opening the triple is pretty much a non-factor. There's not going to be any words through the Q with the unseen title pool you're looking at. Qua will put you ahead by 34 with 1 in the bag and a nice balanced leave. Can't argue with that. Oh, good job by Will checking that refutings is not good. It is indeed not good. Okay. What are you afraid of in this position? There's a W and a Y unseen. Can you get hit with those very hard? Doesn't look that bad. Something like Yi Yao is available. I'll say so. Quats for 34 is a choice from Weibin. That empties the bag, but it puts Weibin ahead by 38. And so the onus is on Jesse to find the out in 2. That's enough to win. I think it's going to be tough. 38-point deficit to make up here. Oh, Ricky points out that Wheel, W-E-I-L, was the play that he had to block, and so Quats blocks that. Yeah, nice job by Weibin. That's a good play. I see it now. Also, reputing takes an answer and refuting doesn't. That's just nonsense. 436, 398, a 38-point lead for Weibin. And now Jesse needs to find a really clever out in 2 to have a chance here. Looks like it's going to be tough. So we have a final as Evan Borowski beats Hubert Weed. That is a win for Canada. I will add that to the scores. Instead of 9-3, it's now 10-3 with 2 games still to go in round 3. We are waiting for the results from this one of Weibin versus Jeremy, and then also Jeremy Hildebrand, Jeremy Koo, which looked like it was going to go the way of Jeremy Koo. So if both Singaporeans hold on here, they get their first 4-1. They need 2 more rounds of 4-1 each to win the match. Hard to do, but not impossible. Jesse down to about 1 minute and 15 seconds now. Still trying to find some sort of out in two that's working, but it is not easy to do. If anybody in the chat has anything clever to suggest, I am all ears, but it's looking tough. Oh, hello, Hubert. Welcome to the chat. Definitely a lot of sighing for the Singaporeans right now, but the good news is you got two players currently leading their games. They could cut the lead from 10-3 to 10-5. That'll make things a little bit better for you. Bad news is 10-5 is still a hole to get out of. Yeah, just need to go 8-2. That's right. Think of it this way: you're 1-5-0 away from being tied. If you just go 5-0 once, then it's 10-10 and it's anybody's game. So you just got to go 5-0 one time. It's kind of shocking there's not already a Hubert size emote. That feels like a thing that should happen. Airy is the choice from Jesse. That's 20 points. Weibin leads by 18, and Jesse has only 7 seconds on his clock. That's not good news for Jesse. Kept low, L-O-W-E. Is there anything better than just low up top at 7A? That's not that great. That's tough. It looks like there is a final between the two Jeremys, and Jeremy won. Just kidding. Jeremy Koo won. Jeremy Koo beats Jeremy Hildebrand. So I'll go ahead and add that to the scoreboard. One more win for the Singaporeans. Making this a little bit interesting. So if Weibin wraps this one up, it's going to be 10-5. Singapore will see like one more big round to be back in it. Cooney points out that Olo plays. Oh yeah! There's a spot for Olo up here. Won't be enough to win, but it is a guaranteed out in 2, so that's pretty good. Just waiting on Weibin to find some sort of reasonable way to score with this rack. It's actually not super easy, although I guess something like Ions is fine. 24 points, and that'll put you ahead by 42, which should be plenty. Weibin just taking his time, as he tends to do. This is going to be his last play of the game, so he can go right up to 0 if he wants to. Barring some shenanigans from Jesse to push him over, that is. So Ions does come down, and then Jesse has 3 seconds to quickly play low, and he does for 16, and that'll do it. So Weibin gets the victory here. 460 to 442 is your final, and it's another win for Singapore. So it was 9-1, now it's 10-5. They're chipping away a little bit. That's 1-4 in one round. 2 more of those, and they got the win. We'll see. Going over to our matchup coverage, we saw a victory in round 3 for Evan Borowski over Hubert Wee, and that was the only win for the Canadians. So that is a win for Canada, and the rest of them all went Singapore's way. So that's a win for Wei Bin over Jesse, a win for Young over Dean, a win for Marlon over Tony, and of course, as you all predicted, a win for Jeremy over Jeremy. You jerks. Making me broadcast that. How dare you? So your score after 3 rounds is Canada 10, Singapore 5. Obviously a big lead for Canada so far, but you cannot count the Singaporeans out. They're going to keep on bringing their best effort, and really they're just one big round away from being back in it. You know, if they get 5-0 or 4-1, what have you, they are right back in this thing. So we shall see what this next round has in store for us. It looks like we're waiting on a lot of the players to get started. I'll just take a quick look at the scoreboard and standings and all that good stuff. If you're just joining us, here's what you've missed so far this weekend. The Philippines beat New Zealand 13-12, a dramatic win for them. So they finished the season 2-1. Pakistan finishes off a 3-0 Group B performance with a 16-9 win over South Africa, and then Ghana eliminates Kenya from the tournament with a 14-11 win. The Ireland team saving their season with a 13-12 win over the U.S. Ireland will fight on to the knockout rounds. Quick look at the standings. In Group A, India, Thailand, Malaysia, and the UK all tied up at 1-1. All 4 of those teams play this weekend. The ones that win will advance. The ones that lose will not. It is that simple. One match for all the marbles there. In Group B, Pakistan's going on, South Africa is not, and Nigeria and Australia are the 2 teams in the middle fighting for that last playoff spot. In Group C, you're watching Canada and Singapore right now. Those 2 teams will advance. The only question is which one's the top seed and which one's second. The winner of this match will win Group C. And in Group D, it's the United States on spread, edging out Ireland at 2-1 and also the Philippines at 2-1. Ireland finishes second and Philippines third, so Ireland will advance to the knockout rounds. So right now, Canada looking to finish a perfect 3-0 run through Group C. They are currently up 10-5. They're in pretty good shape, but Singapore still has a chance at a comeback here. As we look at the games getting started here in round number 4, let's take a look at Dean Saldana and Marlon Provencio. That is Gretz on your left, that's Dean for Canada, and Zanjero on your right is Marlon for Singapore. Let's see how these 2 are going to do. Benji's watching Scrabble and watching Tim try to kill a bug. You were predicting a tie between Tim and the bug? Because, you know, Tim's a lot bigger. Depending on the bug, I guess. If it's one of those, like, really giant cockroaches, then maybe it'll be trouble. Ooh. Ricky pointing out that Evan has overtaken Hubert on the individual scoreboard. I don't actually have that open. I don't have like a screen on Twitch where I can show you guys that, but that's cool. I haven't really paid that close attention to the overall individual player standings. I know that Hubert has been up there for a while. I will try and load those and give you a quick rundown when I can. Oh, a tie between the Jeremys. That makes way more sense than Tim and the Bug, I was going to say. So Dean almost has bug eyes right on cue when I'm talking about bugs. So yeah, looking at the overall standings, Evan, Borowski, and Hubert, we are both 10-2 overall in the tournament. That was before the round that we just saw. So with a win, Evan moved to 11-2. And Evan is already tied with Syed Ahmad Ali and Will Anderson for the most overall wins in individual games in this tournament. Syed's 11-4, Will's 11-4, and Evan just needs one more win to be first place overall among individual players. That's really cool for Evan. So, bye is the choice for Dean, and now it's back to Marlon. Pretty vowel heavy rack, but he does have the H for a little bit of scoring punch. Let's see what he can do here. I mean, just something like Oho, I guess. That's not super great, but that's one option. 20 points keeping A-I-N. It's a little bit vowel heavy still, but what are you going to do? Ohon, that's much better than what I saw. So Ohon for 26. It does give back a bingo. Looks like catalogs. Comes down for Dean, 74 points. And back to Marlon now. Down by a bingo. He's got a Q that he needs to get rid of. Is there a way to do that? Don't really love just QIS for 12. Like to avoid a play that week, but what can you do here? Might be stuck playing that. I don't know. You could play QI here. Kind of set yourself up for a play at H1. It's a little interesting. I don't love to give my opponents easy scoring spots when they're already hit by a bingo and you can just keep scoring 35 each turn, but I don't know. I don't love the alternative of QIS here either, so I don't know what to do. This seems a little bit safer defensively in the sense that, like, if your opponent doesn't have the right rack to use the Q, whether it's an I for overlapping or a U, then there aren't that many options for them. Whereas, I don't know. I guess this also requires your opponent to have an I, so either way. Marlon decides on Kadi. Okay. Seems as good as any. So Dean 111, Marlon 68. And it's back to Dean, who doesn't have an I for overlapping, doesn't have a bingo quite. Maybe Lover here for 24, keeping ANG. Something like that is reasonable. I'm not seeing very many other places on this board to score well, so 24 might have to be what you settle for. Will, have a good night. I am so grateful to have you on the team. Waking up at 6 a.m. tomorrow. It should be great. Great Scrabble action. I'm glad you're awake for it. Really appreciate you. Yeah, so I guess there's a little bit of a lull in the calendar. We're playing this match now, and then there is a long layoff before Australia and Nigeria at 8 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So, if you'd like to watch every match this weekend, maybe get in a quick nap until Australia and Nigeria later on. But yeah, gavel and Ganev, those are words. Ganev keeping LOR. Gavel keeping NOR. Kind of like Lover better than either of those, but they're all pretty similar in valuation, I'm sure. Looks like we're still waiting on Evan and Jeremy to begin their game. Not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they start soon. So Log is the choice from Dean. It's a fairly defensive play. Turns out that he did block Daintier. But Disinter comes down anyway, so 60-point bingo is happening for Marlon, and now it's going to be a tie game, 128-128. Let's see. Just pave. 27 keeps the ENRS. Seems pretty standard. Unless there's something I'm missing. You got Palavers. Burns your S only scores 28. That's not worth it. Any thoughts about Thailand and India today? It's going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to it. India is the higher seeded team according to their Westbrook ratings, but Thailand's got a lot of really strong young talent. They've got a Karapol and Jackrit, who are two great players as well. I am not in the prediction business, but I will say that both teams have had a great run so far. Thailand has been really impressive. They had an upset win over the UK as the bottom seed, but India's been really strong as well. They had a convincing win in week 1 over Malaysia, and they've played well throughout. India came within a heartbeat of being 2-0. I mean, they really almost beat the UK last weekend. Ricky in the chat noting that Marlon's Luxac is back, and if that's the case, then Canada is in trouble. I've noticed that the Luxac tends to extend to the rest of his teammates as well. It's not an individual Luxac as much as a team Luxac. Kidlets for 84, and now Zanjero in the lead here. Marlon in pretty good shape. Dean has drawn the J, and it looks like not a great board for the J. I'm not seeing anything super exciting for him. He could potentially play Juve, I guess. 31, keep that ENRS leave. Hope the ENRS treats you better next time. I guess he only kept ERS last time, technically, but same idea. What else? You could do, I don't know. There isn't much. Yeah, so Dean does go with Juve. And Marlon is drawn not great. Some awkward vowels that don't really work together, and the C. Yeah, that's tough. What do we think of, like, I don't know, Unseal for 16? That's weak. Don't like that at all. James in the chat saying he needs to wake up early for something. I have no idea what, can't imagine. But whatever it is, best of luck to you. Just kidding. James is playing for the UK. He's got a big match with Malaysia tomorrow morning. Looking at my calendar, it looks like UK Malaysia is at 1 p.m. GMT. So that's what, 6 a.m. my time, 8 a.m. Central US time for Jeremy. You'll be fine. Did I say Jeremy? I meant James. It's been a long day. My brain is mush. In any event, good luck to James. Good luck to the UK. Good luck to Malaysia as well. May the best team win. CUNY at K1 is suggested. Yeah, or I think you mean K2, right? Yeah, like that. That's reasonable. 20 points gets rid of a lot of that junk. So yeah, CUNY I would keep IO. Seems pretty reasonable. I was just checking, there are no 6-letter words starting with the D. I just wasn't sure of that. So yeah, that's tough. One high scoring option is Codin for 28, but the leave of IIU is just hideous. You really can't do that one. Pretty close game here, 212 to 189. Marlon is ahead by 23 and on turn. He plays Icon. And a pretty strong rack for Dean, although not quite a bingo, I don't think. Let's see here, what can he do? EFNORSU. Plays of, keeping a leave of nurse, okay. And another vowel-heavy rack for Marlin. He has the Z. It's an interesting tile, but I'm not sure what he can do with it. Yeah, it's tough. $232 to $212. Marlin now ahead by 20. It's just a really tough board. There's just not a lot of ways to use the Z or the vowels. I'm looking at just like tis. That can't be right. It's pretty ugly. Yeah, this is rough. Don't have any hooks for off. There's no move for doff. Can't do much through this P. Got the Z hook for Zell, but no words. There's no Taze. That's not good. So, yeah, nothing doing here. Yeah, zit for 34. Nice way to score pretty nicely. And oh, here comes the bingo. Norsel is the draw for Dean. I would expect that to come down, and when it does, we got ourselves a game. Dean now does play Norsel. It comes down. He now leads by 15 points. It's back to Marlin. Only down by 15. He's got the X now. He immediately draws the X after playing the Z. And the X is a good tile. He's got fix and ticks for like an obvious 46 right there. There's probably other plays like that that are pretty strong. Yeah. Seems like fix is the play here. Not seeing anything else comparable. He does play it, and Dean draws a fairly balanced rack. AEIRT and then AY are those last two tiles. You might want to play off those two. You know, something like just AY here is pretty decent looking. Both players have plenty of time. This could be a really complicated endgame coming up. Both the blanks are still unseen. I mean, there's a whole lot of just bingo-prone stuff still in the pool, so both players have to be cautious here about opening anything up for their opponent. Both blanks unseen and like a nice balance of consonants and vowels. They're good consonants and vowels, too. Wouldn't shock me to see multiple bingos in the pre-endgame. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. For Dean, right now I would just like to unload the Y and maybe a couple of vowels. I wouldn't mind playing off two vowels because there's a lot more vowels in the pool that you can draw. You know, something like AIRT is a fine lead with a lot more ease in the bag. I'm not sure what play that means you should make, but just kind of talking about general principles here. I'm not really seeing a great wide play. I mean, just that is pretty weak looking, but I don't know what else there is. So Canada leads 10-5. This is a crucial round for Singapore, as really all the rounds are at this point. They've got to come charging back. We do have one final. Looks like Tony Leah and Hubert Wee have finished their game, and Hubert got the win there. Okay, so another win for the Singaporeans. Let's go ahead and mark that one. So the score is going to change from 10-5 now to 10-6. Things are getting a little closer still. This one, of course, very much up in the air. You know, Marlon with a small lead, but a whole lot of bingo-prone stuff in the pool, so sparks are going to fly, and for whom, we don't know. Dean letting his clock tick away, now down about 4.5 minutes. These are the tough situations in Scrabble. You know, you're approaching pre-endgame. It's not clear if one player has the edge over the other. It's not clear what's going to happen to the board in terms of is it going to open, is it going to close. There's just a whole lot of unanswered questions, and you know, at this point for Dean, this next play could change a lot of things. You can choose to open it, you can choose to close it. You can choose to go for points, you can fish for a bingo. There's just a lot of different ways you could go here. He is going to make a fairly fishy bingo opening play. That's interesting. So yay for 12. Puts him still behind, but with AEIRT as his 5-tile leave. And a big wide open spot, actually 2 big wide open spots. He can bingo here in line N or here in line 14. They're both interesting, and he's got AEIRT, a strong leave to use there. That's going to make this interesting. Marlon takes out one of those 2 spots with Bear for 33. Nice play. But of course that opens the big giant triple along the bottom. Dean's draw is not very good. He gets another I, another R. Duplicate 1-pointers. He can't be happy to see that. But 11 tiles left in the bag, still a long way to go. Bear also takes an R, so you got to worry about this spot too. And of course, 2 R's on Dean's rack already. If I'm Dean here, I might just leave everything wide open and just hope for the best. You know, just play. I mean, shoot, you could even play Fur and open even more lanes and just, you know, go for a slugfest. This is going to be a very complicated endgame with both players threatening bingos. The unseen title pool, both blanks. Lots of good bingo-prone consonants and vowels, a nice balance. A little bit consonant-heavy, but not too much consonant-heavy. So it looks like Dean's going to choose to block the obvious spot with Irate, but ooh, that's a big draw for Marlon. ANORSU. He's got the hook for bearer. Really, I mean, any word there is reasonable. He's going to choose So Lunar, and that works. Game's not over yet. Diether is the draw for Dean. Looks like no spot for that, and even if he does, it's not going to be enough. He's down by 104. Actually, it would be enough with all the points on Marlon's rack, but as it is, it doesn't look like Dean's going to have anything here. So the Singapore comeback continues. It looks like Marlon's going to get this win. It looks like Jesse Matthews got a win over Young Jinrong, so that's a win for Canada. I'll go ahead and update the scoreboard with Jesse's win, making it 11-6. It will be 11-7 as soon as Marlon wraps this one up. Let's go ahead and mosey along. Let's see what's going on with Wei Bin against Jeremy Hildebrand, and it's a 60-point lead for Hildebrand here. The bag is empty. It looks like Wei Bin's not going to have much to do here. So it looks like that Singapore 4-1 is probably not going to happen. Yang Zhenrong has already lost to Jesse Matthews, and it looks like Wei Bin is not going to have enough here against Jeremy Hildebrand. Let's check in on the other game. Evan Borowski against Jeremy Koo. Oh, Jeremy Koo does lead this one, so it could be a 3-2 for Singapore, which will keep them in the race, keep them still alive. 11-6 is the score in games that have gone final. We got a couple of others that are expected to go final pretty soon. So Evan bingos with Fristed. Jeremy still leads. 283 to 242. A 41-point lead. You got a triple open now from that F. I'm not sure if he's terribly afraid of the F. You know, both blanks are gone. There's not a great chance of bingo through an F. Might be okay to leave that spot alone and just, you know, go for points elsewhere. Oh no, so when Will leaves, Will's bots leave. That's tragic. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, the problem is our two bot masters, we got one sleeping and one busy playing this match. Jeremy Koo, of course, Lord Livgan, is one of the Coco's Twitch MVPs, but he's unfortunately playing right now on stream as he takes on Evan Borowski. Looks like we got one more match that has gone final. Jeremy Hildebrand has won against Wei Bin. So that's another win for Canada. And that is going to push the Singaporeans to the brink of elimination here. 6-12, they must win all 7 from here on out, including both games here. Jeremy leading Evan. And in the other one, let's just quickly hop back. It looks like Marlon is safe in this one against Dean. So we probably will have a situation where Singapore is just barely still alive. Let's watch and see if my computer cannot freeze first of all. And I think we're back. The laptop just froze up for a while, but I believe it is unfrozen. And let's see if we can get this game back between Dean and Marlon. Come on, laptop. You can do it. I know you can. Sorry about that. This laptop's had a really rough day. I think it's going to power through, though. I believe we are back on. Let me know if you guys can see things and hear things, and we'll see how things go. It looks like while we were waiting for my laptop to unfreeze itself, Marlon finished off the victory over Dean, and we are still waiting on Jeremy and Evan to finish their game up. So I will update the scoreboard with another win for Singapore as Marlon pulls that one out. So our score, instead of being 12-6, is now going to be 12-7. Every single game counts now for the Singaporeans. They must run the table from here on out to win this match. And for Canada, they are one win away from sealing the deal and winning Group C. It's been an impressive run for the Canadians. They have, really from wire to wire played well. In week 1 against Ghana, they had a nice comeback win where they were behind early in the match, came back and won 13-12. In week 2 against Kenya, they just had a big blowout victory. They just stormed the Kenyans, and now here in week 3, a surprise, I'll say. I think we all expected a close match, I would say. These were two very good teams, pretty evenly matched. Singapore with a slight edge in rating. And Canada has come out and just really, really played well. And now it looks like the Canadians are poised to, barring a big Singapore comeback here, make it a 3-0 clean sweep. Looks like a lot of the players here are watching as Evan and Jeremy finish their game. There's a whole lot of viewers right now all watching the same game. We got Jesse and Hubert and Jeremy and Tony all watching as Evan tries to come back and win this one against Jeremy Koo. Canada is 1 win away from winning the match and winning Group C outright at 3-0. Be quite an impressive feat if they can finish the deal. Looks like an unplayable bingo of Trumeau on the rack for Evan. Not really sure what to do with a rack like this when you can't bingo. It's not easy. You want to leave this lane open in line 13 if you can. I don't think you can stomach something like Umu for like 7 points or 5 points or whatever it is. He plays for 14, keeping line 13 pretty well open. Any word ending in an S or an E, and you're in business. It looks like Jeremy has drawn a cue that is not an especially good cue. Best play might just be to dink it away for 11, or maybe play QI here. 26 has more points, and it does block things up a little bit. Probably QI there is good. Jeremy's going to choose the other QI on the right side, blocking up that part of the board. It really kills a lot of bingos in line 13 and 14. And that puts him in pretty good shape. It looks like some players are already going to begin their round 5. It looks like Evan Borowski and Yang Zhenrong. No, they're still playing. Wait, Evan is still playing Jeremy. Oh, Yang is going to be playing with Jeremy Hildebrand. They've already begun their round 5. Let's take this opportunity to kind of update the scoreboard and see who stands where. As we go to our matchup coverage, we have Wei Bin and Jeremy Hildebrand. That was a win for Jeremy Hildebrand. Notch 1 for Canada. We had Yang Zhenrong and Jesse Matthews, and that was a win for Jesse. We had Marlon versus Dean. That was a win for Marlon. We had Hubert versus Tony. That was a win for Hubert. And we are still waiting on the final result here between Jeremy and Evan. So as the standings are currently, it is 12-7 Canada, and every single game is a must-win now for Singapore if they want to finish first in Group C. If Canada wins one more, they win the match and they win the group. Again, for those of you just joining us, the scenario right now, as far as the knockout rounds go, Canada's in first place right now at 2-0. They will finish in first place at 3-0 if they win, and Singapore will finish second. And because of the way the playoff pairings work, it is the top seed in Group C against the bottom seed in Group D in the playoffs. So it'll be Canada versus Ireland and Singapore versus the US if these standings hold up. So very, very interesting situation here as far as the playoffs go. A lot of great matchups we could be seeing. It's going to be a lot of fun next week for sure. As for right now, looks like Evan is going to come up far short against Jeremy, as Jeremy has bingoed Andrew on the X, and he's going to win big here. So we can go ahead and call this one. It's going to be a victory for Jeremy Koo, their 8th of the match, making it 12-8. And now it's real simple. We got 5 games in the final round, and Singapore must win all 5 to win the match. And we can take a look at the action that's already begun in round 5. It looks like there's already a match begun between Yang Zhenrong and Jeremy Hildebrand. These are the number 2 seeds for their respective teams. I generally try to watch the higher seeded players in the final rounds. The way the pairings work for these matches, it's always 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, and so on in the final round, which means we'll have our marquee matchup of the match between Wei Bin and Evan Borowski coming up in round 5. I'll definitely want to watch a lot of that, but for now, let's take a look at the 2 seeds as Yang takes on Jeremy, and give ourselves a close game so far. Yang with a small lead, 137-134, a 3-point edge, but it is Jeremy Hildebrand on turn and holding a blank. So Jeremy already bingoed with the first blank, playing Colorant, and now he's looking to find something to do with the second one. I don't think he's going to use that blank this turn, but he's got some options. I've noticed that he's got some options as my kind of go-to line for when I don't actually know what those options are yet and I'm stalling. But let's see here. You could play something like Wave. Ugh, that keeps GTT blank. That's not super great. You probably want to get rid of the V and the W if you can, though. How else can one play off the V and W here? Yeah, it's not great. Not great at all. I'm going to skip along as Evan is getting underway. No, he's not. Just kidding. He's still playing his previous game with Jeremy Koo. Let's just go back. Never mind. Let's continue observing Young Jun Rong and Jeremy Hildebrand. We can always pick up on the Weibin Evan game later on, because I'm sure they'll still be going after these two guys finish. But again, it's very simple here. Singapore must win all 5 games in the final round. So really, every game's equally important because they are all necessary to win at this point. Singapore, definitely one of the stronger teams in this tournament. If you look at their overall stats, like game wins and game spread, they are definitely playing as good as anybody in this tournament. But just because of a close loss to Kenya in week 1, and having a deficit to make up here against Singapore, they are in danger of finishing 1 and 2 in terms of matches. They're still going to make the playoffs. They have a stronger spread than the other 1 and 2s in their bracket. Ghana and Kenya cannot pass them, but still, for a team this strong, a 1 and 2 performance in the pool play rounds is pretty underwhelming, and so I'm sure they're a little bit concerned about that. Singapore would love to mount a comeback here and turn that 1 and 2 into a 2 and 1, but it's going to be tough. Canada's got 5 strong players, and you've got to beat them all. Jeremy Hildebrand here gets down a bingo with agitates. And that's going to move the Canadians 1 step closer to sealing the deal here and winning this match. Looks like an interesting rack for Young Jun Rong. He's got some scoring tiles, the H and the M. He could take the A hook on Zill and make Zilla and Ham for 35. That's a nice scoring play. He could also choose to make the board a little bit more open if he wants, because you could play something like a Hem or a Ma and open the bottom part of the board a little bit. That would be pretty interesting. Young Jun Rong is not down by a ton right now. It's only 44 points, 211 to 167. Definitely a situation where you don't want to panic. You don't want to, make any crazy board opening plays, sacrificing too much equity. You do need to just keep playing solid Scrabble, keep scoring well, keep balancing your rack well, and good things can happen if you just continue to make sensible plays. I might like the option of Ham just to really maximize your score, and you can always open the board later. It's still pretty early in this game, a long way to go. So he chooses just AH, keeping his M. That's interesting. So a tough rack here for Jeremy. And he's going to play Kui. That's a good way to play through the tough rack. The good news is you're playing through the rack. The bad news is you're opening the board for your opponent. And, definitely a bingo could be coming here. I don't believe he actually has one. Unrhymed. Doesn't appear to play. Nothing through an E, nothing through an O, nothing through an M, nothing through a B. So Jeremy is not going to get hit hard this turn, but there's always the threat of a bingo later. You know, if maybe now Young opens the board with something like Aram, now you got to worry about all these bingos down here, all these bingos over here. There's just a lot of things open at that point. So even though Cooey doesn't lead to an immediate bingo, he's still got to be concerned moving forward. Interesting position, though. Definitely some creative things that Young can do to get back in this game. I think I like the idea of something like Aram. Okay, so he chooses Murid, and that's gonna sort of open that part of the board. I think Aram would have done it a little bit more cleanly, but that works too. So for Jeremy, the lead is only what 23 points. He's got a little bit of a consonant-heavy rack now. I don't know. Nothing jumps out. You could do something like Wept. That's 32. But it opens up the bottom line of the board for the triple, so that's a little bit worrisome. You might have to just take the points and go with it. Not sure what else Jeremy can do here. Yeah, this is tough. I'm looking at kind of things over like Paw, 21 points. DFST leave. That's not too terrible. You'd like to be a little bit more defensive if you could. I'm not really sure how to do that, though. I don't think lefted makes a lot of sense. Only 15 points. You got to keep scoring better than that. Not sure. Tough position. Tough position. Looks like all 5 games are underway here in round 5. Again, Singapore needs to win all 5 to win the match. Seeing a suggestion of few in the chat. Let me try and figure out where few goes. Maybe just few here. Okay, 29. Oh, Pod. That's nice. Okay, that scores 31. Gets rid of an extra consonant and also blocks up the board very nicely. I like that a lot. Nice move by Jeremy. Now it's back onto Yang Zhanrong. I'm not sure what he can do with these, these 1-point tiles and the H. You're not going to bingo anytime soon. Oh, Heyman, nice play. 38, and it opens the board wide open. Okay, now we got a game. Jeremy can't block everything now. He's got to pick and choose his spots to close, and it's not going to be easy. He continues to battle through the racks that are, not bad, but just a little bit consonant heavy. And that's a little tricky. What do we think of Stend? 36 keeping FS. That could be good. You got to keep scoring. You got to block as much as you can, which is, not everything. But yeah, Stend will take out a big hot spot and score very nicely. Keeping an S in reserve. So it's a relatively close game. Jeremy ahead by 16. even after stand, I mean, he's only up by 52. And he chooses Fens. Okay, similar idea, keeping ST, a stronger leave. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a close game. I mean, Yang can come right back with an X play. XI looks pretty straightforward here, and it's going to score 42, and it's going to be virtually tied. Only a 6-point lead for Jeremy after that play. Ozenik, okay, similar idea. And Lysated is the rack for Jeremy that I don't believe is going to. Just kidding. Yes, it is going to play. Lysated here for 86. If he knows that word and spots it and plays it. Wait, that's not a good. Nope, Lysated is not good. Ignore me, please. Only Lysate, no D on that. Okay, this is going to be a little bit trickier. Oh, Diastyle. That Diastyle is the one that plays. Okay. But Diastyle takes an S, and that opens up a whole other can of worms. So, not sure if that's what you want to play. Boy, this is a close game, and there's no easy way for Jeremy to assure himself a victory. Diastyle might be worth doing, but I don't know. He's going to choose just delay for 50, which is mighty strong. And now the J shows up on Yong's rack. He continues to draw high-scoring tiles, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be enough. He's got to play through a clunky rack, and he would love to come out of this with a big one on the other end. Oh, and Join. Okay, and Join is pretty nice. 42 and plays off a whole lot of the vowels. So it's a close game. 18-point lead for Jeremy, and he's got all consonants. That's pretty gross. Still a lot of ways this can go wrong for Jeremy, to be sure. So for Jeremy, you just got to play through it and hope for the best, I think. I don't think exchanging is an option here. You could just play, King or something like that just kind of plays off as many consonants as you can. But geez, I mean, you look at the pool, there's no A's, only one E. Like, the vowel situation is dire. Even if you do play off, 3 consonants or even 4, you might draw badly again. This could get really ugly. Jeremy's still got time, over 4 minutes on his clock still, and he might need it. This is going to be a challenging game if he can't draw any vowels. We have seen Yang come back by, drawing these power tiles, right? He, whoops. Trying to type list for the list of moves, and I typed on the board instead. Yeah, you got the X for 38 with Zenik, the J for 42 with Enjoin. Young also had the Z earlier, so he's really been using those power tiles to great effect, and there is still a Q on scene that he could draw, so if he draws the Q, things will get real interesting. It's not a great board for the Q, so I'm not necessarily saying good interesting. So Jeremy chooses to exchange, and oh, it looks like it's a pretty decent Q situation for Young, who has words like Q, he has feek, he has options here. Q'd plays for only 18 though. Yeah, the rack looks nice, but it's not a great board for it. Oh, Bisque. Very nice. 36 points for Bisque from Young Zhenrong, and now, wow. Jeremy with all consonants again. Now he's trailing. 2 tiles in the bag. Does he try to leave one in there, or does he try to play off a lot and end the game faster? It is rough either way. So now for Jeremy, I mean, I see something like Asil for 27, keeping RRST. It's going to be a clunky endgame for both players. I mean, I don't think that Young's going to have anything too good either. Just an update, all 5 matches are still in progress. Nobody's finished yet. We are waiting for the first Canada win of this round because that will do it for the Canadians. They will win the match if they get just one more game win. Yeah, ouch for Jeremy indeed. I mean, Ricky, I think that I'm rooting for the Singaporeans to make this close and have a dramatic finish, but nonetheless, I feel for Jeremy. This has been a rough end of this game. He was leading the whole way and then just kind of ran into some difficult racks. 9-point lead for Jeremy now. And oh boy, Jeremy's last 6 tiles are GRRSTV. So for Young, the question is, can he go out in 2? I feel like he probably should. It's not easy though. You know, you can play Keef and then you don't have much to do with OO and U, I don't think. You might not need to go out. You might be able to just kind of like play this pretty slowly and go out in 3 or even 4 and still win. Keef is 38 and your opponent's got no vowels, so it's going to be pretty good for you, I think, if you're Young here. Seth in the chat says 35. 35 something. Keef is 38. This is interesting indeed. I agree, Ricky. Wow, Hubert, Wabin, and Jeremy are leading. That is huge news. I would love nothing more than a dramatic finish, all tied 12-12, all down to the last game. That would be fun. This is closer than you expect after round 2, yeah. If you're just joining us, I believe it was, what, 7 to... No, it wasn't. It was 9-1, right? It was some crazy blowout in favor of the Canadians, but they have come roaring back. Yuko is suggested in the chat. So Yuko would leave info, and then you got a spot for info here, and a spot for Foind over here. Yeah, that looks strong. I like it. Yuko. Okay. I feel like Yuko should win. I find it hard to imagine that Jeremy could do anything about that. Oh, 35 for Scry. I got you. Yeah. Okay. So, Jeremy Hildebrand has played this game well. He's been leading for most of the way. He's still up by 9 points right now, but just a really brutal series of endgame racks, and it looks like Young's going to have enough to seal this one. And if he does, we'll see. I'm just getting word that Tony Leah has logged off of ISC. That is worrisome. I don't think his game is over yet. He's supposed to be playing Jeremy Koo. Oh, and it looks like Tony's now logged back on. That's good. Okay. Anyway, back to this game where Young is just kind of going through his endgame possibilities. He's still got time on the clock, 4 minutes. Ricky suggesting Vugs. Oh yeah, Vugs and Colorants is a lot of points. So, yeah, this actually might call for some math here. Like if you play Yuko, that's 21. Boy, it's been a long day. Math is hard. 21, so you're ahead by 12. Vugs is what? 24. You're down by 12, and then Info. Yeah, I think Yuko still wins, but Vugs does make it a little bit closer. Both Jeremys are leading their games. Well, I'm not sure if that's quite true because Jeremy Hildebrand is in trouble here. It would be quite something if Singapore could make this comeback from down 12-8. Of course, it wouldn't be the first time. If anybody was watching the India versus UK match last weekend, they know that India had the lead 12-8. UK came back and won 4 in a row, and it all came down to James Curley in the final game, pulling it out and getting the 13-12 win for the Brits. So we have seen it before, where a team is up 12-8 and can't close the deal. We'll see if the same happens here for Canada. They are leading for now. It would be quite a comeback for the Singaporeans to come back from down. Again, I believe they were 1-9. I can double check that. Yeah, I think round 1 we saw wins for Evan, Tony, Jeremy, Dean, everybody but Hubert. And then in round 2, yeah, Tony, Jeremy, Dean, Jesse, Evan. Yeah, it was 9-1 in favor of the Canadians, and now there's a slight chance that Singapore can come all the way back. Yeah, looks like Yuko is enough. I'm seeing a good morning from Dead City. Good morning to you too. I'm trying to do some time zone math. If you're saying good morning, where does that mean you live? Is that England? No. Help me out here. You know, directing this tournament rather than playing it has been interesting. I have not gotten any better at Scrabble as a result, but I have gotten better at time zone math. Okay, you're probably not in England. It's 4:48 a.m. there. I don't know where you are. If you're in Mumbai, it's 9:18 a.m. Maybe that's where you are. I'm just guessing here. I don't know. Waiting on Young Junrong. He's got 45 seconds now. Can he find a reasonable out in 2 sequence that wins this game? I think Yuko would be a great idea. There's probably other ways to do it that also work. You don't even have to go out in 2 necessarily. I feel like a play, like Keith in the top left for, 38 would be fine too. Just he's got to outrun an opponent who's got a whole bunch of clunky consonants. It's very, very doable. He goes for Keith, and Jeremy's got 2 minutes now to calculate his endgame here. It's going to be tough. Down by 29. Vugs does not quite put him back in the lead. And even if he does play Vugs, he's got RRT, which I don't believe... Actually, after Vugs, he's got Tirr, Tirr for 4, which is only 4, but it's an outplay. Okay, so move for 13 blocks that. Okay, very nice. So Yon leads by 18. And I believe Jeremy can't go out now with his TRR because Tirr is blocked. Nicely done by Yang Zhenrong. And Yang will go out next turn with just NO on his rack. Oh, Dad City, you are in England. You're just a super early riser. I got you. 1-point game, Jesse and Marlon. We'll definitely go to that one next. Let's just watch the conclusion of this one, then we will hop along. Looks like all 5 games are still in progress. Nothing is final yet. Don't lose on time. That is good advice for everyone always, but especially here. It'll be tragic to blow the game and the match. You have won just because you went over on your clock. Definitely don't do that. New for 11, that'll work, and Yang Zhenrong is going to win by a final score of 438-419. Let's hop over to Jesse Matthews And Marlon Prudencio, a close game here. On your left, Jesse Matthews, soccer guy for Canada. On your right, Zanjero is Marlon Prudencio for the Singapore team. Singapore must win every single game from here on out. Let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. It's no longer 12-8. It's now 12-9. Canada's one step closer. Sorry, Singapore is one step closer. My bad. So Marlon down by a little bit here. I'm seeing a no and a mosey in the chat. I don't know what either of those words mean right now. Context is important, guys. But this is going to be close. This was 9-1 Canada earlier. It's now 12-9. The gap has closed dramatically. Singapore is going to have a chance here. We are still waiting on the results of 4 games here in this final round, including this one, a close game between Jesse and Marlon. I believe we got word in the chat that Singapore is winning most of the other games. I think we heard that Jeremy Koo was winning and Wei Bin was winning. So this might be the pivotal one. This might be the one that Canada needs to survive the Singaporean comeback and win the match. No pressure at all, Jesse. No pressure at all. Hey, Jeremy. Welcome to the chat. Looks like we're in for a dramatic finish as you guys were up 9-1 earlier, but Singapore is making their comeback now. Looks like a lot of the Singaporeans are leading in their final game here. But Jesse Matthews with a small lead over Marlon Prudencio here, and a chance. Wow. Ricky in the chat says he believes it's going to be 4-0 Singapore, and it's going to come down to just this game. That would be quite something. As you see, Marlon plays Yin for 20, and Jesse has the second blank. He's got debated as a bingo. And assuming he sees that, it looks like Canada's going to be in good shape again. Boy. It's incredible how close Singapore has come, though. To come back from 1-9, and now have a chance to seal the deal here. If Jesse can just deliver this knockout punch, debated would just about do it. He does play debated. And now for Marlon, it's going to be tough. He's got to continue scoring, first of all. He's down by 95. He's more than just a bingo. He needs to score well and to get a bingo down. Going to be tough. Yeah, Ricky in the chat saying, ouch, GG Canada. That's probably correct, but let's play this one out, see what happens. For Marlon, I mean, you can, geez, I don't know. You could play Siri and hope to draw something incredibly lucky. I mean, you can't just fish here because you're down by so much. You got to score and fish. Like if Rayek were a word, I would play that, but it's not a word, so I don't know what to say. Yeah, Trice is the choice for Marlon, just hoping to catch lightning in a bottle here, but it's not going to happen with that pool. That is an ugly unseen tile pool, and pretty much any reasonable play here from Jesse is going to be fine. It looks like Hubert has won against Dean. And there's one other final, I believe. Wei Bin has won against Evan. So the official score on games that have actually gone final is 12-11. And we're also waiting on Jeremy Koo and Tony Leah. Looks like that game is wrapping up pretty soon with a 90-point lead for Jeremy. We'll just watch the final moves here as Tony's just holding a single E, and he's just got to play off his E. Let's find the best spot for him. He's got Ian for 8. Yeah. I don't think Bibe is good. Maybe Bibe is good. Who can remember these things? Bibe is good. He's got Bibe for 13. That's a good E play. Oh, the Will Anderson bot is back online. I'm actually not sure how that's possible. Oh, Will restarted it. What a guy. What a guy. So Tony taking a very long time before finally playing off his E, and it's official that Jeremy has won. So the score has gone all the way to 12-12, which is unbelievable given where we started this match. But it is Singapore 12, Canada 12, and now it's up to Jesse Matthews to finish the deal as we mosey back over to that one. And it is a solid lead for Jesse, up by 92 in the end game. And he's holding IL, his last 2 tiles. Just got to play off something like oil, that'll work. And there you go. Your final score 461, 353, and your final score in the match. In dramatic fashion, Canada holds on and wins 13-12. Congratulations to the Canadians. They are your World Cup Group C champions. They will improve to 3-0. Let's hop over to our pool play standings and make some updates right now for you. Your final standings in Group C will be, I can just open up this window, thank you. Canada finishes at 3-0. Singapore finishes at 1-2, but they have the best spread of the 1 and 2s, and so they will advance. So Canada is your Group C champion. Singapore is your Group C runner-up, and the way the playoffs are going to work is C1 plays D2 and D1 plays C2. So next weekend in the knockout rounds, it'll be Canada versus Ireland and Singapore versus the United States. 2 really fun matchups. Looking forward to both of those for sure. But for now, congrats to Canada. Congrats to Singapore on a great comeback that came just short. And I'm really looking forward to seeing both these teams in the knockout rounds next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this is going to be great. We've got a whole lot more action coming up this weekend. I will update this list to show that Canada has defeated Singapore 13-12. And then we got 3 more matchups this weekend. It is Australia versus Nigeria. It is India versus Thailand. And it is the UK versus Malaysia. All 6 of those teams are currently 1-1. All 6 of them will advance if they win to the knockout rounds. And all 6 of them will be eliminated if they lose. So for all 3 matches, it's going to be do or die for everybody involved. We got Australia versus Nigeria at 8 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So that's in about 4 hours. We've got India versus Thailand 2 hours after that. And then we got UK Malaysia 3 hours after that. So 3 really exciting matchups still to come. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I'm already looking forward to seeing whoever plays whoever in the next round, because it's going to be a really, really great knockout rounds bracket, no matter who makes it. This is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to everything coming up, both the remaining Week 3 matchups and the knockouts starting next week. It's going to be fun. For now, I want to say congrats to Canada on finishing 3-0. Congrats to Singapore on also